Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, prospective students, parents, and distinguished professors, good morning and welcome to a very special occasion. I'm Mandy, and it's my great honor to be the MC for today, admission talk for students with international qualifications. We're here to dive into the exciting world of HKU and our partner programs. But before we begin, let's make sure you have all the details. The first part will be a panel discussion highlighting the importance of transdisciplinary exposure, and the second part will be admission updates tailored for 2024 candidates. We've all gathered here at the Grand Hall, and I can tell you the anticipation in the room is electric. Now, to kick things off, we have an incredible host today, Professor Bennett Yim, Director of Undergraduate Admissions and International Student Exchange. He's the one who is moderating the discussion today. Today, we also have a panel of experts who will offer deep insights into the unmatched opportunities we offered here in HKU. They represent the best of academia and industry, and they have come to share the wealth of knowledge and experience with all of you. So first, from UC Berkeley, we have Assistant Dean, Ms. Colette Plum, who will enlighten us on the dual-degree collaboration between HKU and UC Berkeley, a partnership that promises to shape globally competitive leaders. From our very own Biomedical Engineering program, we are joined by Professor Kevin Xiao, Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering and Program Director of the Biomedical Engineering Program, and Dr. Russell Chan, CEO of HKU Life Corporation Limited. They'll discuss the burgeoning opportunities in biomedical engineering and technology fields that are gaining significant traction globally. And last but not least, from HKU Medicine, we have Dr. Kendrick Shi. He's the Clinical Associate Professor of Department of Ophthalmology, School of Clinical Medicine, and Director of Student Affairs, and Program Director of MBBS Enrichment Year from Li Ka-shing Faculty of Medicine, to talk about the market demands for medical professionals in the research field and how our MBBS Distinguished Med Scholar track is designed to address this critical need. Without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Professor Bennett Yim.
Thank you, Mandy, and good morning, everyone, particularly our potential students, parents, distinguished guests, and also some of our colleagues. I can see some of our audience are still gradually coming in, so please kind of find a seat. Again, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you all to this very special days at the University of Hong Kong, our Information Day. Also, welcome to this special admission talk. So this admission talk will focus on the topic of forging the future leaders, Hong Kong youth innovation and forward-looking development. So as Mandy introduced, I'm Bennett Yim. I'm the Director of Undergraduate Admission, and it's my pleasure to be the moderator of today's discussion. So allow me to say a few things before we get started on the panel discussion. At the University of Hong Kong, we pride ourselves on offering an education that is not just world-class, but also forward-thinking and innovative. We are committed to fostering future leaders equipped to navigate the complexity of the global landscape, and our unique programs and partnership, which you'll see actually today in some of the booth, provide our students with a competitive edge and also preparing them for promising career and meaningful contribution to society. In recent media, you may also learn about some of the world ranking organization have released some new results regarding ranking. So I'm not going to go into too much detail, but you can actually refer to some of the information on our website. Just allow me to say that we are ranked really high in the world. We rank within the top 30 and also fourth in Asia and first in Hong Kong. And I think we are particularly proud to be actually considered the most internationalized university in the world, not just in Hong Kong. Another indication which I'm sure the parents, particularly the parents and students will be really want to hear is we actually rank within the top 10 in terms of our graduates' employability. So after you graduate from the University of Hong Kong, you don't have to worry about getting a job or developing your career. We also have quite a lot of achievement through our faculty members' research and kind of other achievement. So some of those slides you can also refer to our website. And certainly, like today, we have the pleasure of inviting one of our alum who have successfully applied his knowledge he learned from the university and elsewhere to develop company. But he's only one example, because we do have many of our alumni have, and also our research faculty members have developed many different innovation in the world. Innovation is at the heart of HKU, and some of you, if you have a chance, I would invite you to visit our innovation wing, which is a place where we provide an open environment to foster interdisciplinary innovation among undergraduate students and also teachers in engineering and technology. And some of you also, if you have a chance to walk around campus today, you may see we have quite a few new buildings that are still under construction. And one of them will be completed very soon. It's called the Tech Landmark. And this building and also the facility with the program will allow us to transform ourselves into a global hub of innovation and technology, and also hopefully propelling an innovative future in Hong Kong and beyond. Today, as I mentioned, we are very happy to have Colette here from UC Berkeley, and she is a representative of a program, collaborative program that we have with UC Berkeley. And we do have quite a few other different collaboration, both in terms of offering degree to our students and also offering opportunity for both our undergraduate student and our graduate student to have research opportunity with other university, top university in the world. And so today, other than UC Berkeley, we also will have booth to provide information regarding our collaborative program with Peking University, University College London, Sciences Po in France, University of British Columbia in Canada, and also University of Cambridge. As we embark on today's discussion, let's remember we are an institution that is not just shaping the future of education, but we also hope to make a significant contribution to society through research, innovation, and also international collaboration. So let me now kind of start our panel discussion. Our first area of discussion I would like to focus on is to discuss the unique opportunity and how the Hong Kong U's curriculum is uniquely suited to meet market need. Okay, maybe I'll first set my first question to Kevin, because I think as I mentioned earlier, our curriculum at HKU is not static. It's supposed to develop to meet the requirement of today's ever-changing market. And maybe I don't know whether Kevin can help us by speaking a bit about in his field, the biomedical engineering field, and particularly our curriculum in that area. How is it adapting to meet the challenges, especially in preparing our students for solving real-world problems?
All right, thank you very much. So first of all, good morning, everyone, and welcome to this panel discussion. So my name is Kevin. I'm the program director of the BME program. So yes, maybe I can just give a very brief idea, okay, what BME or Biomedical Engineering program is about. So this is a very interdisciplinary program where the students would have the very broad exposure in engineering aspects, including electrical, mechanical engineering, as well as computer sciences, as well as the learning experience or the training experience in biomedical sciences. So the students will have this very broad exposure to different disciplines. But not only that, so I think that today's the panel discussion is all about how the curriculum would be capable of engaging with the market needs or the fast-changing world. So I'm pretty confident to say that our BME curriculum has been very adaptive to the fast-changing world, especially in terms of the up-to-date technological developments in BME or in biomedical sciences. For example, in the past few years, I think every one of you will still remember how we're going through these COVID situations. So from that, we have actually learned a lot in how technologies can impact healthcare, how we can impact our basically in general daily lives. So in the program, we have incorporated many elements. For example, now you know AI technologies. A lot of the wearable devices can actually help us to monitor our health conditions, for example, a lot more easier. So these are the elements that we would also put in the curriculum. But I think more important, just not only about the curriculum design, what are the courses that you are taking in our program, we actually emphasize a lot, outside classroom experience, because that, to me, and also I believe many other colleagues and teachers in the program believe very much, is that outside classroom experiment is exactly the way that you can learn, okay, how the world is changing every single day. Okay, just give you some example. We have a lot of the opportunities for the students to go out for internship, okay, not only during particular year, but throughout the whole 4 years of study. So we actually encourage them very much, okay, to engage to research labs as research assistants. We have also some kind of lab shadowing opportunities, so to let the students to go around the university laboratories who are engaging with in BME research, so that they can know, even though they had not acquire very deep understanding about, okay, what BME is about, but during the early years of training, they have this opportunity to get a taste of these, BME, the advanced research. So, and one more thing that I would just focus on is talking about this outside classroom experience. We do have a lot of other opportunities for the internship, as I mentioned. One thing that I can highlight is, if you know, 2 years ago, the Hong Kong government actually put in a lot of very substantial support to the innovation and technologies by starting up this initiative called Inno Hong Kong. So this is actually a very substantial initiative that within Hong Kong, we have now 28 research centers. And I can tell you, like, almost half of them actually led or participated by, University of Hong Kong. And many of them, or many of these centers, are actually closely related to healthcare and biomedical engineering. And these kind of resources and infrastructures and initiatives that we have right now, it's not only just for research. We are now using this platform, this kind of resource, to let the students, even though they are now in a very junior level during their study, but they have the opportunities to come to these advanced research institutes to engage with the up-to-date and very advanced and the BME technologies. So I think these are very quick snapshots of like how they can really engage the changing market needs. Yes.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much for sharing so many examples. I guess compared to the day when I was in college, students these days are have much more opportunity to be exposed to research, like internships, and also even out of classroom experience. Yeah. So I hope all our potential students, you get excited about the biomedical field. Colette, many thanks again for traveling so far to actually join our event. And now, I think one of the key features Hong Kong is trying to develop is more collaboration with top universities in the world. And can you share from your experience how particularly the dual degree program between Hong Kong U and UC Berkeley, what kind of opportunity does it offer to our students?
Sure. Thank you very much for the question. So we have a dual degree. It's an undergraduate dual degree with HKU, UC Berkeley does, and it's housed in our College of Letters and Sciences. So this is a tremendous opportunity for students who are choosing majors within social sciences or arts or humanities to have a wonderful and challenging global experience, both in Hong Kong and at UC Berkeley. And they really, it's an incredible thing that within 4 years, students are able to get a degree, an actual degree from both universities. So 2 degrees in 4 years. And I think that we are really leveraging the strengths of both universities. I had just heard that congratulations, HKU is the world's #1 most international university in the QS rankings. And UC Berkeley is also consistently ranked #1 in terms of public university, the world's top public university. And we're very proud of that. And I think that that means something in terms of the level of research opportunities and the diversity of the instructors and the connections, the global connections and opportunities that students have.
Thank you. Thank you, Colette. So I hope the audience also get interested in our dual degree program, because many of our dual degree programs are actually very unique. We are partnering with some of the best university in the world. And as Colette mentioned, other than the diversity in the teaching and learning, I think our students also get exposed to different culture. I think that would certainly broaden their international perspective as well. Okay. I mean, talking about opportunity, I understand maybe from our audience, many of our potential students are also quite interested in our MBBS program. So today I'm very happy we have Kendrick here, Dr. Shi here, to share his insight on the program. So Kendrick, maybe I understand we are also within the MBBS, we have a new track, right? So maybe can you elaborate a bit more on this new track, or maybe also some new development in the medical school?
Yeah, thank you, Professor Yim. And it's my pleasure to be here today with all of you. So I'm here to talk a little bit about the MBBS program. I think with COVID, a lot of advances, I think there's no better time to consider medicine as a career. There are a lot of different things you can do, but medicine is really where all the excitement is, all the happening is going on. So just to give an example, if you look at cancer medicine, when I was a medical student, people didn't want to do oncology because it was a very gloomy specialty. We didn't really have much to give to patients. A lot of them were expected to die because of cancer. And the reason was because chemotherapy, there wasn't really any new drugs since 1970s. But if you look at nowadays, if we talk to our medical students, cancer medicine is the most exciting field in all of the specialties now, because we have new drugs almost every single year. We can now target drugs. So when I was a medical student, we're talking about biological therapy. We're giving targeted therapy, attacking certain receptors in cancers. But now what we're talking about is immunotherapy. We're turning the immune system to go and kill cancers for us. So with all these advancements, when we're planning our medical curriculum, we felt that, yes, it's very exciting for our medical students to graduate into this environment, and they'll be expected to be using a lot of new treatments to help patients. But what we also recognize is that a 6-year medical curriculum in its current state will not be enough to develop future leaders of medicine to help our population. So what we've created is, about 5 years ago, we started a program called the Enrichment Year. So it's a 3rd-year period. It's like an exchange year, but you can do research, you can do service and humanitarian work, and you can also do an intercalated degree. So if you want to have this idea where you can actually do another degree, even before you finish the MBBS program, that's HKU is where you're at. So you can actually do a bachelor's degree, you can do a master's degree, or even a PhD before you finish your 6-year degree. Now, the latest advance that we had came last year, and that is we introduced a distinguished med scholar program. So it's for the top 10% of our admitted students. Last year, we accepted 61 students across 2 years. So we allowed about 30 students from our year 1 program to move on to year 2 as distinguished med scholar students based on their exam results. And we also admitted about 30-something students into our first year under this program based on their excellent high school results. So based on either the DSE results, the IB results, or based on GCE A-level results. For other exam systems, we also do look at it on a case-by-case basis. So we do allow other non-JUPAS students to also be eligible for this Distinguished Med Scholar program. Now, what is this program different to like a regular MBBS program? We want these students to be the innovators. We have a lot of people who are very good doctors, but we don't have enough people who are innovators. The current age of medicine is very much the age for a clinician scientist. You have to be a doctor who can not just treat patients very well, but you also have to think about new ways to enhance medical care. So we want these students to come in, we give them elite mentorship, we give them massive scholarships so that they can go off to do intercalated degrees overseas. We have special connections with universities like Cambridge University, and this is just on top of some of our existing collaborations with Harvard, Columbia, Stanford, and we also have in the UK, Edinburgh, Glasgow, London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. So a lot of very exciting advances. What we hope is at the end of this, these students will go on and lead Hong Kong in the new age. Thank you, Professor.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Kendrick. I think what the medical school is doing is just one example of the many new development that we are seeing actually throughout the different program on campus. I think the key message we want to develop is, first of all, I think, definitely we are facing increasingly complex changes in the world, and we are facing many new problems that we have never seen before. At the same time, we are so optimistic when we hear we have new cure, we have new medicine, we have new development in all different areas that will allow us to tackle this new problem. But we must prepare our students in a different way compared in the past. We can no longer just provide our students with very structured knowledge because the world is no longer structured that way, right? So we have to teach our students how to self-learn. We have to be adaptive. We have to be also meeting the market need because basically, eventually, our students, they need to make a contribution to our society and the world. So this is the direction, basically, the university, the University of Hong Kong is heading. I hope our potential student and also the parents in the audience agree with our direction. Now, let me because of time, let me move on a bit to the next topic. So other than being adaptive and being innovative and training our students to be practical, making contribution, I guess many of the parents particularly will be interested in, after graduating from University of Hong Kong, what kind of prospect will our students have in terms of career development and also networking. So maybe I'll take this opportunity to turn my question to Russell. Russell is Dr. Russell Chan, is our distinguished alumni, and he's also have very successfully transitioned from biotechnology, technical knowledge development into industry. So maybe Russell, can you all tell us a bit more about the specific opportunity, also anything like that you learned from Hong Kong U, how it may affect your career path?
So I think I have a couple of slides. So a little bit myself, I did my undergrad in BME, and then did my PhD also in Hong Kong U. After that, I went to Stanford and also NYU for a postdoc. At Stanford, I did neuroscience, and in NYU, I did ophthalmology and neuroscience. So there's two key points here. Oops, can you go back? Yeah. After you study in Hong Kong U, you get a global exposure. You can go to elsewhere, it's like Stanford and NYU, like East Coast, West Coast. I know friends who went to Europe, Germany, UK. Of course, a lot of people went back to China, like Tsinghua. So those are the opportunities that Hong Kong U BME program offers. And also, you can also switch fields easily. Like I did BME, and then I switched to neuroscience. I also switched to ophthalmology, which is eye research. Afterwards, I came back to Hong Kong and I started my own company, Gens Technologies, which is a biomedical imaging device company. So because I still have love with for BME. Afterwards, a little bit more than 2 weeks ago, I took a role in HKU Life as CEO. It's an in vitro diagnostic device company. It's more focused on the biotech, also highlighting it's very easy to transition to different fields with the BME background. And also from a small company like Gens to a medium-sized corporation as well. And all that has to do with networking, of course. And the next slide will be about the network I gained in Hong Kong U. So of course, I have the academic network that gave me exposure to media as well, like when we do great science in Hong Kong U. And then I was like a student association, which I have like a lot of really good friends who are in the industry in Hong Kong and outside of Hong Kong right now. And I also lived in a hall where I get exposure to different cultures, different background of people like economics, who's majoring in business, who's majoring in law. That helps a lot when you do like especially startup, you need to have like that broad sense where the BME program itself is very broad in terms of technical. This analogy would translate into different functional aspects. Like you won't be afraid to know a little bit more about the legal aspects of it for biotech, business of biotech, etc. And then, of course, a little bit of Lang Kwai Fong, because that's where we meet a lot of foreigners or exchange students. So I get to know a little bit about like the global culture, not just BME, but also like different aspects of the world, like how's their working life there, like the work-life balance, etc. And then, of course, the last picture there, those are all BME classmates of mine, and of course, the program director here. When I was doing at Gens, working at Gens, I had to manufacture the device, and Karan over there, my classmate, was like head of manufacturing of the public company, so he helped me manufacture that. And next to him is a very experienced technical salesperson. He sells like MRIs or even like smaller devices. He's very experienced. And of course, beside Kevin is Terrence Wong, who's a professor at HKUST. So there's a lot of opportunities when you network in Hong Kong U, and then it provides you even more opportunities for your career in the future.
Thank you, Russell, for all this sharing. And I think I observed like a couple of things. So for the student, other than studying, you can see like, I think Russell emphasized kind of a work-life balance. I think it's very important when you focus on your study, is also have fun, also do classroom activity, and to actually enrich your experience. And I think Russell pointed out something which I hope I would help to elaborate more, because you can see his experience is covering quite a broad across different area. He mentioned like business, he mentioned like technology, he mentioned about like the medical field. And that's exactly like, I mean, the flexible curriculum is the key feature of like University of Hong Kong. Many of our students today, unlike in the past, when they focus on one single faculty, maybe if I'm an art student, I only study in the Faculty of Arts. Many of our art students this day, they will do cross like faculty subject. Our students, a lot of time, they would at least do 2 major. Some of them can even do 2 major and 1 minor. And some of those different major actually are in different field. I mean, earlier I met a student, basically like she was doing kind of science. At the same time, she's also doing another major in business. So some of our engineering students also are doing something else like in kind of even the art field. And even our art students are doing something in technology. So this basically is the curriculum at HKU is we want to be flexible, because as I mentioned, the world is changing rapidly. And this day we need more talent across discipline. We no longer can focus on one single discipline and hope to address all our problems. Talking about networking, of course, like we can network within Hong Kong. And maybe I can turn to Colette and see if like she can also give us some example of how the program, particularly the collaboration between HKU and UC Berkeley, what kind of networking opportunity would they provide to the student? And also, does the program do anything to promote this networking?
Sure, thank you. And absolutely. So a little bit first about how the dual degree is structured. So students are admitted to both UC Berkeley and HKU and given an offer of admission to the dual degree if they would like to be considered for the dual degree program. The students spend their first 2 years at HKU and their second 2 years at UC Berkeley. So they get 2 solid years of cohort building, of gaining friendships and connections, of availing themselves in person when they're in Hong Kong, of the opportunities and resources, the internships that we've been referring to, the halls, all of those are places, of course, where one is not just learning and gaining professional connections, but also gaining friendships that will really sustain students. When they get to Berkeley, They maintain those friendships, of course, but they're also able to join all kinds of clubs. We have a special orientation for the students. We have many students actually that arrive to Berkeley in their 3rd year. So they're not really missing out on anything. We have a special orientation and opportunities to introduce the students who arrive in a 3rd year to UC Berkeley. That's not something that's only given to 1st-year students. And our students really do get engaged. When they graduate, they have access to both alumni networks from both universities, which is amazing. And also they have access throughout their 4 years to all the types of career counseling and services and placement that both universities offer. So again, these are tremendous opportunities for students. I also just recently learned that there's this wonderful opportunity for all HKU graduates to remain in Hong Kong for 2 years if they're non-local and live and work. And so that's an amazing opportunity for the HKU dual degree students. They start in HKU, they go to Berkeley for 2 years, and if they'd like to return and work in Hong Kong for 2 years, they'll have a visa to do that as well.
Thank you for the sharing, and certainly like at University of Hong Kong, we try to kind of offer us doing all kinds of opportunity, both like locally and also overseas, because this day I think the collaboration across country is very important to address many of the world problem. Now, because of the interest of time, let me kind of move on to the last topic. I want to see if I can get our experts like the panel here to get their view on it, which is about impact, right? Because other than learning, are we training our students to make a real world impact? So maybe I can turn to like Kevin, because I understand Kevin actually wear multiple hats. Not only is a professor himself, but he's also a co-founder of a startup. So I mean, so can you kind of share maybe from your experience how the knowledge and innovation at HKU is being transferred to the real world, particularly in making a real world contribution?
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, so apart from being professors as well as a program director here at the university in Hong Kong, I actually also involved in a startup company. So this is a company that we develop a technology that we can have a very high-speed way to image very small single cells in human body. For example, I can take blood sample from the patients, and then I can do this use this technology to image every single blood cells, okay, in the patient, so I can tell the health conditions or disease condition. And we actually started this company a few years back. And first of all, back then I didn't really think of starting a company, but then that's also one of the reasons why I said that I believe very much in engaging with different people across different disciplines, because there was one particular occasions in a local conference. I met a few people from medicine as well as dentistry. And we had a discussions about, okay, how can we actually make use of technologies, not only for publications or for research, so that, the researchers on campus can use. So through that discussion, that somewhat sparked my interest, thinking about, okay, how can I actually go from basic research, this level, okay, and bring it to something else, to a higher level in a way that people can really benefit, patient can benefit. So that's really how I started the company together with a few BME alumni. And then this technology is right now, by the way, is already being used in one of the hospital here in Hong Kong, the Hong Kong Children's Hospital, particularly use that for blood cancer treatment monitoring. I think Kendra just mentioned cancer medicine is one of the biggest things happening all the time, basically, in the field. So we are using that now doing trial. So I think this is something that I always feel very significant in a way that really brings something you have learned and you have built, and then people can benefit, and now you can use it for patients. And throughout the process, once again, I think I want to sort of emphasize that the process itself is not only involving I myself or the students, but really involving a lot of people across different fields. I actually just mentioned the collaborations, right? So not only now the company or even my research group or even the students, okay, when they're doing projects within the program, having collaboration with medicine. We are now actually expanding our horizon to the Faculty of Dentistry. So the whole BMU community here, if I talk about just within Hong Kong U, that's actually involving multiple faculties, not just engineering, not just medicine, but together with the dentistry. So, and we believe that these kind of collaborations or this kind of exposure can bring a lot more impact, okay, to the society.
Thank you, Kevin. I'm so glad to hear that more collaboration are on the way among our faculty so that we can maximize our impact. Maybe I can also see if Kendrick can also share, particularly from the MBBS or the MBBS DMS track perspective, how our student can make a real difference in the real world.
Thank you, Professor Im. And I think this is an extension of what Kevin mentioned. The idea is medicine has to be cross-disciplinary. We have to work with different key stakeholders to be able to advance patient care. So the undergraduate model of medicine, very much a British system, always emphasizes to teach students to be a good doctor. But if you look at, let's say, the US, they've always had students who first do another degree. So it could be a Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Engineering, and then they go into medicine. So they bring all of those talents in. And this new track that we have, the Distinguished Med Scholar Program, we are getting students who are applying to study Master of Engineering. We have students who are applying to study Health Data Science, and we also have students even studying medical education. So these students, when they go into the workplace, they won't just be good doctors, they'll have other skills that will not only allow them to start research and innovation, but also have the language and the networks to communicate with people like Kevin and even also with Dr. Russell Chan, because they now know people in the industry. They also have the skills where they can form collaborative work relationships. And I think the whole thing is that we want the overall healthcare system in Hong Kong to be more academic, to be driving medicine forward together. So I think that's the real impact.
Thank you, Kendrick. I want to save my last question actually for Russell, because we're so happy we have an industry expert like coming to our panel today. I'm sure many of the audience would like to know, particularly a potential student, right? What kind of specific skills or specific characteristic attributes are the company looking for, like from student, if they want to hire a student? So they can give them can you give them some advice on that?
So the company looks for different aspects of a person, and I think I can summarize it into 5 different categories, which is very in line with what the government is trying to do. There's like Gun, government, Tan, industry, Hall, academia, Yin, research, and Tao, investment or funding. So from the government standpoint, I have a lot of friends who work in, like, for example, HA, Hospital Authority, EMSD or Department of Health. So there's a lot of opportunities there. And like BME itself paves the way for people to enter the government workplace, and people in the government can always go back to like industry as well. And in terms of industry, there's a couple of like startups you can do, which is smaller, which has more flexibility in terms of doing your own like corporation. There's medium-sized or large corporations, like I mentioned, like Haikang Life is one of them. And then there's the larger corporations from overseas. For example, J&J, I have like friends working in J&J, Johnson & Johnson, or Medtronics. And then academia, there's different like overseas friends who are professors, local, Hong Kong, and also China. There's a lot of opportunities there. And in terms of research, we can not only do research in academia or industries, there's also research centers in Hong Kong. For example, ASTRI or NAMI. Those are in between commercialized, like basic research to commercialization, that pathway. And also I have friends who works in like United States NIH as well. And how investments, I have friends who work in VCs with biomedical engineering background. I have friends working in ITF, like the Government Innovation and Technology Fund. They would judge whether or not they would invest in commercialization. So all these wide aspects is also something that industry would look for, because at the end of the day, industry looks for investments. They look for cooperation with academia, or look for cooperation with the government, and also research centers. So yeah, those are.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it look like whether you're in the biomedical field, or whatever field, you do need like cross-disciplinary knowledge because it covers quite a lot of different spectrum. And fortunately, if you enter the University of Hong Kong, you do have the flexibility to pick different subject, different major, different curriculum across different faculty to actually equip yourself with the ability to actually face the ever-changing world. Because of interest of time, I guess like we're gonna have to close our panel discussions. I want to take this opportunity to thank our distinguished alumni and also panelists for joining us. I hope you have learned some important insight from our panelists today. So I'm going to pass the time back to our MC Mandy.
Wow, such adaptability and transdisciplinary is exactly what we need in this ever-changing world. I'm a firm believer that our prospective freshmen will handcraft their own career paths in HKU. Our sincere thanks goes to Professor Bennett for gracing us with his invaluable insights today, and also to other esteemed guests. I would like to invite Professor Yim to remain on the stage for the upcoming part. As for other professors and guests, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude this enlightening panel discussion, we have a special treat for you. We're about to witness a captivating and informative conversation on admission updates between two distinguished individuals. Now, please join me in welcoming Truan Vu from the admissions office to the stage, who will join Professor Yim in this crucial discussion on admissions updates. We are honored to have them both with us.
Thank you, Mandy, and welcome everybody to the second half of our admissions talk today. I know that a lot of you have been waiting for this part, and thank you, Professor Yim, as well as our distinguished guests who have been providing a lot of insightful input, and also, share with you different aspects of HKU position, as well as the future developments of HKU. So in this part, we'd like to discuss with you the program offerings at HKU, and we take pride in being the top comprehensive research universities in Asia, offering 49 undergraduate programs across 10 different faculties, and providing more than 100 majors and minors. We aim to enable our students to design their own study path and create opportunities for them to combine majors, as Professor Yim mentioned earlier, choose from different programs, or even select majors from different faculties. So now let's dive into the admissions pathway. If you are studying for an international qualification such as IB or GCE level, or recognized regional national qualification, you can apply through international or non-JUPAS application pathway, and regardless of your passport type. We are currently receiving applications already, and our first round evaluation deadline is at noon of November 15, 2023. And after that, we will still consider your application on a rolling basis until August 22nd, 2024. So you are encouraged to apply right away in order to secure your offer early. And if you don't have enough documents to submit, don't worry about that, because you can also submit your supplemental applications documents from time to time. And students may submit up to 3 undergraduate programs, and it's advisable to rank your most preferred program at your first choice. So now let's touch upon the admissions requirements. So Professor Yim, could you please share with the students some tips on how to, find information on admissions requirements on the website?
Sure. Thank you, Trong. Based on like what Trong mentioned earlier regarding a few things, I do like to remind everybody, even though our first round of application end on November 15th, and we'll continue to do our enrollment or consideration. But I strongly advise everybody to complete or at least like start your application before the deadline of the first round. Because in the last few years, our experience suggests we'll probably fill up most of our quota only for first round like application. So if you are late, I mean, we may not always be able to entertain your application later on. And then regarding the three choices that you actually need to indicate, the most important is the first one, because we consider that one is your most preferred choice. And the other two, we don't distinguish them between the second and third, but we allowed you to actually submit two other options for our consideration. I think like, let me kind of maybe, I may not have time to go through all the details, but I just want to highlight maybe the philosophy for our admission. We want to provide as much information and also make our application process as transparent as possible. So everything we want to communicate with the student, we would have put it together on our webpage. So I think I strongly advise everybody to look closely at our website to look for the specific requirement. Today, I believe many of you have also picked up a brochure which lists out the lower boundary for non-JUPAS application. Non-JUPAS meaning you're doing international qualification like IB, GCA A-level, or maybe SAT, AP. Please do take a look at the document. We try to provide as accurate information as possible based on previous years' admission result. So you will look for the lower boundary. That should give you an indication of what type of student we are looking for in each program. And also please watch out for some specific program requirement. So other than the specific standard, some of our programs do have like specific requirement on specific subject, but we already try to make it like minimal in terms of like we have the minimal number of students, minimal number of programs that actually have very specific requirement. And for example, like for the coming year, actually nearly half of our program actually do not have program specific requirement, but other may do. So please pay attention.
Yes, thank you, Professor Yim. And I also want to add that we also list some additional documents that students should provide. And notably, students can nominate referees to provide reference letters, as well as nominate your counselors to supply information like transcripts or predicted results. And referees will receive an email directly to provide a confidential reference, while counselors have a higher level of access to your application information to verify your academic achievements. And so you're encouraged to update your results during your application cycle.
Okay, Trong. Now, certainly like many of our students, not only are they academically very strong, they're also very well-rounded. That means like they have usually participate in a wide range of extracurricular activity. So from the operational perspective, can you share some insight on how the student can effectively showcase their kind of achievement in the application process?
So there are many different ways that you can showcase your achievements as well as your talents, and also what you've been through over the years of your high school, right? Look at the screen. You will see we have a holistic kind of way to review your application, and that also includes, academic achievements and also non-academic achievements. And by that, we mean that not only extracurricular activities, but also, clubs that you have been part of, and organizations that you have volunteered for, and also leadership projects that you have initiated, for example. And also we look at your personal statement and other supplemental documents in order to understand who you are and what you really want to pursue your dream, right? Apart from that, we will get to know more about you via our interview with you. So that is for you to see that we have a holistic way of reviewing your application. So be not worried, and please submit as many supplemental documents to our application platform as possible, because that way we can review your applications holistically. So why don't we talk about scholarships, right? Because a lot of us here also look for scholarships, because it's also a way to show that you have an achievement to enter college. So Professor Yim, could you elaborate a little bit on scholarship?
Sure, absolutely. I think over here at the University of Hong Kong, we do offer different type of scholarship. So first of all, I think for students who have done extremely well in the academic side, we have scholarship that recognize students like merit based on the exam score, based on like their high school achievement. So all those like, I mean, you don't need to actually apply specifically. We will consider due for scholarship based on basically the academic achievement that you have submit. At the same time, we're also recognizing many of our students also have other talent other than academic talent. For example, like leadership, for example, like extensive amount of community service, or maybe even sports, music, and many other talents. We also have a specific scholarship scheme that recognize students who excel in those other aspects that may be not necessarily like related to academic directly. So we encourage you to look into our website if you're interested in some of those specific scholarship. Most of the scholarship, basically, we don't need any application. We'll consider based on the information that you provide. That's why, as we mentioned earlier, if you have any other non-academic achievement, please make sure you utilize the space in our application system to put in as much of those experience and achievement as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Yim. And, I'm very jealous of you because you have the information, right? A lot of you, I believe that you are in your last year of high school. And so having this information in advance would definitely help you prepare for your application better. And I think that with all the scheme of scholarships that we have in store for you, there'll be a lot of opportunities for our students to enter HKU in many different ways. So Professor Yim, we have received some questions from the audience that I'd like to address. And one common concern is, regarding the opportunities available for them after graduation. So one question is, what can I do with an HKU degree after graduation?
That's a great question. I think particularly the parents in the audience, most of you probably more concerned about like if yours kind of like daughter or son actually graduate from University of Hong Kong, would they be concerned about finding a job? I can assure you like that's not even a concern at all. Let me give you some evidence, because University of Hong Kong is recognized at the top 10 in terms of most employable graduates. So our graduate, like based on our own survey, each person will have at least 2 to 3 offers within 3 months after their graduation. They're highly sought after by many of the employer. And let me explain to you like why. Number one, I think you look at like the overall like world ranking of the University of Hong Kong. We are number 1 in Hong Kong, definitely. And we're also one of the top in the world. And many of the university that you look at, their ranking is much lower than Hong Kong U, right? And so many of the employer do look at the ranking as an indication of the quality of education that the student actually receive. Many of our students also have the benefit in terms of having very rich exchange like experience. And many of them also, through the support of the university, get very good internship experience. So I always encourage all the students that I give advice to, throughout the 4-year or 5-year study, they need to find opportunity to go for exchange, because it broadens their international perspective, cultural awareness, and also at the same time, try to look for internship, because many of the employers do look for students who have some practical experience. And these 2 dimensions are key factor why our graduates are actually like most employable.
Well, that's very reassuring for our students, our prospective students who want to be, part of HKU community, right? Another question from a student is that, do I need to sit for any additional entrance exams or tests for admissions to HKU?
That's another very good question. So let me clarify. For applying to the University of Hong Kong, we don't ask students to sit for any entrance exam for admission. Some of the programs do require interview. So if you get an invitation for an interview, please make sure you attend and also try to come to the interview. And in interview, most of the time, we're not giving you a test. We really want to know the student better. So just be yourself. I think that's the most important advice that I can give. And also for if you already have international or even national exam result, that's what we will consider on the academic side for considering you for admission to the University of Hong Kong. Yeah. Or maybe earlier when I answered Tron's question regarding what our students do afterwards, I focus only on the dimension of finding jobs, right? We do have a small number of our students will go for further study. So as you can see earlier, one of our distinguished alumni, after graduate from our undergraduate, he will continue to pursue research study or other study either within Hong Kong U or overseas. And I think many of our students, they also have great opportunity if they want to go overseas to further their study, because many of those universities, top university in the world, when they admit students for master program or doctoral program, they do look at the ranking of the university where they receive their undergraduate degree. So we do have a distinct advantages in sending our students to many of the top university for further study because of the achievement that we have.
And so our admissions update today is for international qualifications, right? I guess a lot of the audience would ask the question, because I have international qualification, I may not speak Chinese, right? So do students need to speak Chinese in order to attend certain courses at HKU?
Absolutely not. The official medium of instruction at HKU is English. And I think we may be the only university in Hong Kong that guarantee all our courses are taught in English. I suppose maybe if you're learning Chinese, you're coming to Hong Kong U to learn Chinese, occasionally, maybe some of your classes may be taught in Chinese. But I was told even our Chinese courses, a lot of time maybe we are taught through English. So any of you who don't speak Chinese or you're concerned about your Chinese ability, you don't have to worry because absolutely all our program only use English as the teaching medium. And 2/3 of our professors are actually, from overseas, international with international qualification. So basically, we are a very international environment that we provide on campus.
Thank you, Professor Yim. It's been a very insightful conversation. Goodbye and see you soon.
Thank you very much for coming.